Hello everyone, Jack here, TalkNorwichCity. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are all doing very well indeed. I'm feeling good. Fresh little haircut, snazzy shirt, pint of Lakens, on the go. Back today with the news that Norwich City are on the verge of signing Josh Sargent from Werder Bremen. Now, I know that there's a lot of American Canaries out there. You should be getting excited. We're about to be signing one of America's top young talents in Josh Sargent for a deal rumoured to be worth around 8 to 10 million pounds. Big money for Norwich City. Of course, we've spent that money already on the likes of Milo Rashica. Christos Zolis could be a man also coming in for around that kind of money. And Josh Sargent is also likely to be around that figure as well. Who is Josh Sargent, you may ask? Good question. Because once again, until a few days ago, I'd never really heard of this bloke. I think I've seen a few pictures actually of Josh Sargent knocking about. He's 21 years old currently at Werder Bremen in Germany. USA international, has played throughout the United States ranks, under 17s, under 20s, under 23s, and now has made 16 or has played 16 times for the full international side, scoring goals at every level other than the under 23. Scored 30 in 48 for the under 17s at international level, which is a fairly phenomenal strike rate for an international level, whatever age rank you're doing that in. Started out in America, came to Germany, started with Werder Bremen 2, worked his way into the Werder Bremen first team, and has played a mixture between the first and second levels of the Bundesliga. 6'1", 21 years old, and a fairly hefty fee around this man. Now, clearly a talent, and clearly unfinished in terms of the product we're looking at, as you would expect from a 21-year-old. You look at the initial numbers, 13 goals from 72 appearances for Werder Bremen. Not the most impressive of strike records, about 1 in 6, 1 in 7. But clearly there's something that Norwich City are very excited about with Josh Sargent. Now, I've left this video for a few days because the videos I've made on transfer targets so far, I've wanted them to be near enough concrete. It was the same with Rashica. It was the same with Angus Gunn. And tonight, Werder Bremen have released a statement saying that Josh Sargent is missing their cup game away to VfL Osnabrück because of interest from a foreign club. They said, we're about to finalise a transfer with a foreign club. That was their sporting director, Frank Baumann. So it's clear that this is happening. I suspect there are quarantine rules and regulations for people from Germany coming into England. I suspect this will be one that will be announced maybe Sunday or Monday. I can't see it happening before the Newcastle game in the friendly, unless that Christos Zolis is also coming through the door and they'll want to kind of stagger them out in social media style. I think this raises a couple of questions, though, for Norwich City, and exciting questions. I'm not going to write off Josh Sargent before he started. Everything I've seen and the murmurings I've heard from people who've watched more of this lad than I have, and more of him than I have would be watching him in a single game. It seems promising. Now, the interesting thing that Norwich City have with signing strikers is we probably have, if he's fit, our number one striker in Teemu Pukki. It would take something remarkable or huge amounts of money spent to knock Teemu Pukki off the top of the tree when it comes to our striking options, certainly in the first few games. Injuries may sway that, and form in the first, let's say, 10 games may sway that as well. I suspect Josh Sargent will be coming in as the number 2 in terms of a centre forward, and I very much doubt that Daniel Farke will be playing more than one striker up front. The problem is you have 8 to 10 million pounds seems like a lot of money, and it is a lot of money for Norwich City. In the grand scheme of the Premier League, it's peanuts. Norwich City, if they wanted someone to take Teemu Pukki off the top of the tree, you're looking at somewhere between 20 and 25 million pounds. Norwich City had been linked with Adam Armstrong from Blackburn earlier this week, and there were sums of money being banded around the £20 million mark. Now, Norwich City aren't going to spend that kind of money on Adam Armstrong. I like Adam Armstrong. I think he's a good player. He had some phenomenal stats, certainly in the opening 20 games of last season, was one of the league's top goal scorers. There's a lot to like about Adam Armstrong, but the rumours from Alan Nixon were that Norwich City would have to put in a serious offer and include Adam Eder. Now, I think Norwich rate Eder high enough, and they like him enough not to throw him in for Adam Armstrong. And I think Eder will be a good striking option for Norwich City. Whether that's off the bench is another question. And you could even debate whether a championship loan deal would favour Adam Eder. But signing the type of player in Josh Sargent, similar kind of height to Adam Eder, similar kind of attributes to Adam Eder, suggests that Sargent will be ahead of Adam Eder in the pecking order. So I suspect Norwich City, in terms of the centre-forward lineup, will go something like Teemu Pukki, Josh Sargent, Adam Eder, and then maybe Jordan Hugill. You probably do need 4 strikers on the books. I think Jordan Hugill brings a lot to the squad, even if it's not necessarily on the pitch. All the players love him. He's clearly a character. And I know that that's a bit fluffy, but you do need them types around the dressing room. And an experienced type in Jordan Hugill, because this squad remains relatively young. So Josh Sargent, it looks a done deal. He's got the education there, and he really does suit that type of Stuart Webber, Daniel Farke type signing. Young, something to prove, hungry, has done it in the top level in Germany. Can he come across to the Premier League and do a similar thing? Of course, this type of deal involves risk. When you're spending £8 million on someone who's going straight into the Premier League, it doesn't always work, as we've seen with Ricky van Wolfswinkel and Stephen Naismith in the past. But you have to take that chance, and it could work spectacularly. If you spend £8 million on a 21-year-old who scores 10 goals in his first Premier League season, you're suddenly then looking at a £20 million player. You can either double your money, or you've got a player who's going to do it for you in the long term. So for me, I mean, I'm not, throwing a party in excitement, but I'm also not losing sleep in how drastically wrong Norwich City's transfer window has gone so far. I think there's still a few positions to fill. Whether Christos Zolis comes in is another story. I think, that's going to really rumble on until the bitter end. And then you're probably looking at another midfielder and defender as well. But we're moving in the right direction. Norwich City, of course, face Liverpool on the opening day. That's on the 14th. So we're not too far away now. And there's lots to play for. Josh Sargent, the latest player who looks to be coming into Norwich City. Let me know your thoughts. Americans, people who watch a lot of Bundesliga, let me know what you think of this man. Josh Sargent coming in as Norwich City's new centre forward, should be announced in the next few days. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're well, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Bye-bye.